So I lost a really good friend last night. Uh, his name was Bob. Um, I've known him for 36 years. Uh, he ended up being like, he was my best friend's dad, and then he ended up marrying my wife's mom. So he was my stepfather-in-law. Yeah, stepfather-in-law. He was he was an excellent human being. Um, he's like the nicest guy I know. You know, friendly and always had a smile for everybody. I loved having conversations with him, you know, about God or, you know, just about life in general, anything and everything. And we had a lot of laughs. I mean, thousands upon thousands of laughs over thousands of different things. It just hit me on the way. Hit me on the way home. I was there when he took his last breath and passed away. I left the room right after. I couldn't cry. I don't know if I was just numb or whatever, but about an hour later I cried, but I realized I'm not going to be talking with him and having, you know, any kind of real conversation again, you know, not until I pass away and see him on the other side, but life is a wonderful, sad place. Like I was saying, he was an excellent human being, and he'd give the shirt off his back for you. He had MS. He was in a wheelchair for the last 20 some years. I can't remember exactly how many years. 28 maybe. His MS affected his throat, and he almost choked to death. They brought him to the hospital. They got him back somewhat. We thought he was rallying. He passed the rallying stage, the days. He was alive for like 12 or 13 days, and then he passed on. The last two of the 12 or 13 days, he just he could barely talk, and he would only, you know, do gestures. He was really tired, and he had sepsis as well, and he caught pneumonia, and so he had sepsis, pneumonia, and then his MS was affecting his throat, so he couldn't swallow right, and then that's what happened. And a great combination, I guess, of bad stuff to have, but definitely gonna miss him. I had a lot of great talks with him, and you know, we had a lot of fun. I was wanting to take him back to Oregon this year, but with all the with everything going wrong in the country today, it's like I couldn't get enough money going. The job market was crap, and my job that I was supposed to go back to had an extended stay at home, so I couldn't I couldn't get what I needed to. My credit stayed crappy instead of being able to get boosted. So I couldn't bring him back to Oregon. He loved the coast, loved to go out. I think he lived in Oregon or Washington, or both, back in the 70s, I believe. And he worked on a fishing boat, I believe he said that, or he was on a fishing boat. He was describing some of the scary, how the ocean was, like I'd be up here and then it would drop down and then the waves would be like right up next to you, like huge. And then he'd be back above the ocean, like down and then way back up. Like he'd be down here and then he'd be switch, up, switch. And that kind of thing is, he told me the details of it, and he said he was horrified and just terrified of the ocean. So everything was short-lived when he got when he got out there on the sea. Wasn't definitely not his job, something that he liked to do. He was a pilot too, crop duster pilot. He also he was a welder for a power company, and until his MS took his legs out from under him. He would run every day, and like a half mile out, half mile in, so he'd run 1 mile a day. And then he did that pretty much 5 to 6 days a week. And he would do push-ups and sit-ups before and after before his half run. On his way back, he'd do it again. And he was a good track and field guy in Idaho. He had a lot of cool stories that he told me about. I have a really bad memory for details, so I remember expressions instead, and the feel of things, like his emotion and a lot of that. So, and points he was making, and he was, like I said, an excellent human being. He did so many good things for people. And he always had a smile for everybody. Like I said earlier, he was, and he loved life. He couldn't even get up out of his chair. He didn't have use of his right hand anymore for like a decade. He could barely feed himself, but he chose to. And yeah, gonna miss him. He had a lot of good beliefs and a lot of good wisdom, I guess, for me. He said, one of the ones that kind of stuck with me was, the best thing that anybody can ever say about you is that he was a nice guy. The other thing he said was, because I told him I wanted to learn about fitness. That was something that was important to me. I wanted to become a personal trainer, and I was young. I was 16. I was having trouble in school. I was getting bullied and all that crap, and just like everybody, I imagine. But I dropped out and got a GED, and then I started doing college classes at 16 years old. I was doing welding, and I hated welding. It was just something that wasn't for me. But I wanted to be a personal trainer real bad, and so I told him about it, and he had nothing but positive things to say. And he said, if you want to learn about a specific subject, he said, buy all of the books and read them again. And he said, you'll know. He said, you'll be, extremely knowledgeable on the subject. And I took that to heart. I bought everybody's books, every fitness guy, every bodybuilder's book that I could find, and I read it. I read them. You know, I spent probably thousands of dollars on books. You know, this is before I found out about ISBN numbers and stuff like that. This was 20 some years ago, almost 30 years ago. But he had a lot of great ideas, so, and it helped me to this day. He actually, out of the blue, just it was this year. It was around my birthday. I came in and I'd been cutting weight, and I was ripped out, and I showed him my abdominals, and I had a six pack. I haven't had one in a long, long time. And he told me, he said, you still need to go become a personal trainer. He said, you know a lot of stuff. So he's like, you should go do that and go get certified, like you said, like you wanted to forever ago, and do that as a job. And I've been thinking about it. You know, I'm a truck driver by trade now, so, you know, I'm still going to get the certification this year before December's out. But I'm definitely going to, keep driving, but eventually I'd like to start my own, like, strongman or CrossFit, Bar Stars type fitness center, maybe mixed in at a location out on my farm. You know, people like to have fresh air and stuff like that, so I considered it, and if it works, you know, I'd definitely gonna, definitely, because of Bob, you know, keeping me going. But anyway, take care, Bob, out there in heaven, wherever you're at. I love you, and I'll talk to you again when I die.